YouTube. So I wanted to make a quick video because it's something about Saturdays, I swear. So I had another interesting morning. And just a little heads up, if you hear any giggling from the background, I have Kayla with me. She and I are going to be flooding you with covers from both of our channels this weekend, so hope you enjoyed that. Alright, so today I woke up, what am I saying? So today I woke up, and one of my friends called me, and we were just talking as I was like getting dressed and getting ready to head out to music school. So I'm walking, and we're still on the phone, and I get to the corner, to the corner of the block where my dorm is, and the parallel traffic, so the traffic, you know, on my side that's at a right angle to me. I hope you guys know what parallel means. Okay, so the traffic that's parallel to me is going, which means that I can cross the street. It's daylight, so I can't see the traffic lights. So that means that I can cross the street, and but I wasn't sure how much time I had left. So I just opted, again, I'm talking on the phone, so I'm not in a super hurry, and I just opted to just wait. And this guy's like, hey, you can go. And I was like, what? I didn't hear him. So he like takes my arm, and he's like, hey, come on, let's go. And I was like, but he was walking, so I was like, okay, we're going. I had a Hamilton moment. Okay, we're doing this. So I'm walking, everything's fine. We cross the street. He's like, the scent of cigarettes is wafting off of him. So I'm kind of holding my breath a little bit. My friend Derek is just on the phone, kind of chuckling in my ear, because the guy, he's not really saying anything, but I'm trying to figure out how to extricate myself from the situation. And so we get across the street, and I put my arm away, and I'm just like, okay, thank you, thanks, sir. He's like, yeah, it's fine. And he's walking, and he's like, you know, have a good day. And I was like, you too. He's like, say Sabash. And I was like, excuse me? He's like, say Sabash. And I was like, I don't recall if he was saying say Sabash or Sabaz. I was just like, what? So then he, I was like, okay. And so I moved the mouthpiece of my headphones closer to my mouth, and I was just like, you know, hello? And he starts laughing, kind of maniacally, kind of crazily, and he was like, alright, G-Unit out. And I was just like, what? And then I was, you know, Derek didn't hear all of this. I told him about the G-Unit part, and he's like, G-Unit is so played out. And I started to wonder what 50 Cent does, and I remembered he's on some show or whatever. But anyway, and the guy, he's walking away, he's laughing, and she's like, haha, she won't say Sabash. And I was so confused. I did not know what was going on. And I slowed down a little bit to make sure he, like, got a little ways ahead of me. And I really wanted to make this video, like, immediately after it happened, while the details were fresher in my mind, but I didn't get a chance to. I was going to make the video in the bathroom at music school, but people were in there, and I didn't want you guys to hear, like, toilets flushing in the background. That's not the background that I look for. It's not very musical, so, oh, wow, this video's under 5 minutes. I can regale you with the story about my Thursday. So I'm leaving school, and I'm walking to the corner, and there are a lot of food trucks out, so then I get to the food trucks, and I kind of turn. But since Thursday was like 74 degrees, everybody was outside and doing things, so I had a lot more people to dodge. And this guy, he's like, hey, do you need help? And I was like, yeah, you know what? Yes, I do. And he's like, oh, you know, where are you headed? And I was like, once I get to the corner, I'll be fine. Because there are people and there are pillars outside of my school. So we're walking, and he's like, oh, you know, my cousin uses a stick too. And initially, I'm just kind of like, okay. Really? That was uncalled for. And I'm not even on the motorcycle, so that's even ruder. More rude? That's even more rude. So anyway, he's like, you know, my cousin uses a stick too, and he was telling me about, like, the level of his cousin's vision, what he can and can't see, and it was a little bit more interesting, like, and he, I think he told me, like, maybe a story or two about him and his cousin traveling, and that was a lot better than what I normally get. It's like, yeah, my great-grandfather's ex-girlfriend's best friend's wife is blind. Okay, what does that have to do with me? Why do I care? So anyway, we're walking, and we actually walked halfway to the train because we were going in the same direction. So I found out he was a law student, and we were discussing school and academics and yada yada yada. He was a cool dude. So, I then get to the train. So I hate the F train station at 63rd Street. It's really annoying. But I've gotten the hang of navigating into the station, so that was great. I get to the station. There's a lot of construction there. It's one of those stations, Grand Central. Let me see. I have a list of stations I don't like: Grand Central, Times Square, Union Square, and 59th Columbus Circle. I used to hate Atlantic Avenue in Brooklyn, but I've gotten better at navigating there. And then the 14th Street at 7th Avenue is okay. This was a total tangent that only people watching this video who live in or have visited New York, it will make sense to. I'm sorry. So, I get to the train station. People, of course, are offering assistance, yada, yada, yada. So then I get to the platform where the downtown F train is, and this guy was like, "Hey, do you need help?" And I was like, "I'm alright, thank you." He's like, "What train are you looking for?" Guys, the F train is the only train that goes to that station. So that's the train I was looking for. My sister said I should have said that I was looking for another train just to freak him out. I think I'll do that next time. Or not freak him out, but just make him panic for me on my behalf. So he was like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Well, the Uptown train." He said something about the Uptown train, and I started to panic. I was like, "Oh, wait, is this the Uptown train?" He's like, "No, the Uptown is downstairs." So why are you telling me about the Uptown train? I'm on the downtown track. That's where I need to be. That's where I want to be. I don't know. So then I'm like, "Okay, thanks." He's like, "The doors aren't open yet." And I was like, "Okay, great." So I walk away from him because I needed to be in the middle of the train. So someone else asks if I need help or if I'm getting on the train, and I just kind of shake my head and smile because I got tired of speaking to people by that point. But I wasn't going to not respond, so I shook my head, and then I walked a few more steps and I stopped, and then the same person is like, "Hey, are you getting on this train?" And I was like, "Yes." And they're like, "Oh, I'm the conductor, follow me." And I was like, "Oh, well, I'm glad I responded verbally." So then there were a lot of other people just waiting. I think the train was going to leave. But the conductor, he went to a particular set of doors, opened it, and then a whole bunch of people started crowding on. They're like, "Hey, thanks, man." I was like, this is probably not what he had in mind. He only planned on helping the blind person, not all of you. But it's interesting. I get a cast of characters. The day before that, I was meeting Kayla, my giggling friend in the background, and I was coming out of the F train station, and I've gotten the hang of navigating to the downtown train, and I might even be able to find the uptown train, but exiting the station I still am so lost. So I'm waiting for this guy. I'm walking, and I was like, "Excuse me, I'm walking in the right direction for the exit." He's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Do you want to take the elevator?" And I don't know why I never take the elevator. I always try to figure out the escalators, but I was like, you know what, yeah. So we're waiting, and there's a group of people who crowd around who are waiting as well. So the elevator comes, and a bunch of people are rushing off, and so I step back and wait for them to get off, and finally someone's like, "Oh, you can go ahead," to me so I could get into the elevator. But I don't know, the elevator just didn't want to be held open anymore. So as soon as I was about to put my cane through the doors, it just closed. It's like, oh, okay. So then we waited for the next one, and people were streaming out, but I was moving a little bit closer so I'd be on the side of the door so that it'd be easier for me to enter when everybody got out. And this lady, I started to walk forward a little, she grabs my arm, she's like, "Don't you see where you're going, yada yada yada?" No, I don't see. I almost called her a B word. I don't usually curse. I'm very, my anger is very controlled. It's a little strange, but she grabbed, first of all, I didn't appreciate that she was touching me, and just that she was yelling at me, all she had to say was, "Excuse," I don't know. And I realized a lot of people, there are a lot of angry people that ride the subway. I think it's because they ride the subway. I don't know. But whatever, after that, everything was cool. And yeah, so I think I'm under 15 minutes. That's pretty awesome. And as I said, you guys, I have videos coming up. Kayla and I will be uploading things on both of our channels. And it will be... Oh. So I have an original song that I performed at music school today. It's called Snow. It is original. It was a part of a songwriting class that that they started this, or I joined. I didn't start this semester, but I joined it this semester. And so I'm going to upload my live performance sometime soon, maybe today. And I have The recording is being worked on, you know, to make it sound all professional and stuff. So yeah, I hope you guys will watch that and enjoy it. And yeah, so enjoy your Saturdays and enjoy all of our musical things that are going on today. All right, I'm gonna stop rambling now. Okay, bye. Until next time.